Greg Caggiano here for Ghosts on the Coast at the Strauss Mansion Museum on a really rainy, nasty Sunday afternoon. Perfect atmosphere to be here at the Haunted Mansion. I want to take this video to recap the month that we've had here with Ghosts on the Coast, which was a very busy month of October, as it always is, and a month which, for the first time ever, we sold out every single event that we had on the schedule. We started out with Nosferatu, the first weekend, where we brought in Cody McCory and his friends to do a live scoring of this silent film. We had 2 screenings. They both sold out. The next weekend, we had haunted walking tours on Sandy Hook that the National Park Service did for us. They very graciously allowed us to have those tours. They sold out. We then screened Pit and the Pendulum later that night, the Vincent Price Classic, which also sold out. Mind-numbing numbers. We had almost 40 people come here to watch this movie that's over 50 years old, proving that Vincent Price, one of my favorite horror actors, is still a draw after all these years. We then took the next weekend off and came back really strong for this current weekend, which is now coming to a close, for our annual ghost tours this past Friday and Saturday night. We had 3 tours per night, and we sold out every single one. The tours were formatted in a way to give the people a little bit of everything. We started out with a evidence presentation showing audio and visual clips that we've had, that we've collected here over the years, most of which are on this channel. We then took them through a wine glass seance, a Victorian-era wine glass seance, where we put our fingers on the glass and it moves around and spells out answers. And then we turned them over to the second part of our tour group, where we then went upstairs and did the second and third floors, where they listened to Roy and Lou tell stories of things that have happened here over the years, some of them before I even got involved here, the old stories that go way back, and got a chance to see the spirit box in action and try to communicate with the spirits we had here. We've had really good feedback so far. We think everybody enjoyed themselves, and we also had some real instances of paranormal activity. The first tour, the Friday 7 o'clock tour, we had on the seance, the glass kept spelling out TAP, T-A-P, over and over again. And then when the group was coming out of one of the rooms on the second floor, on the way out, a couple of the participants heard a tapping noise coming from behind them when there was nobody else there. We also had a case of a woman saying that something had leaned against her. She had her purse over her shoulder and it was resting here, and she said she felt as if somebody was pushing into her, and she got pretty unnerved. She came down and she told us about this. Several participants also experienced cold spots, freezing cold, while we were doing the seance, and things were kind of happening all around us this year. In addition to our normal group, Joanne, Lou, and Roy, we had our psychic friend Lisa, who came along to kind of give us a play-by-play of what was going on, and she was sensing stuff all night long. The spirits were in a bit of a playful mood, and that showed because we did this seance with every group, and it moved around pretty good. There were some groups I think it didn't really like, or was a little shy. It didn't move too much, but we have done this tour in years past where we've tried to do the seance for people, and it did not move at all. And of course, there's nothing we can do about that because we're not making it move. We're asking the spirits to make the glass move, and it did not move at all. But this year, 2019, we had a lot of luck, and it moved on every single group. We had one SB7 spirit box recording, which is the previous episode to this. A voice was captured saying, "I killed them," up in the 3rd floor apartment room. I don't know who the spirit was or what they were talking about. If it was, obviously was not something that happened here at the museum, but some kind of spirit was relaying a message that he had killed somebody. And unfortunately, we didn't get any follow-up to that. There's nothing else on the recording except that. What we find when we do these tours by bringing in all these people, and we had almost 200 people on these tours this weekend, is that everybody has energy, and some people have things attached to them. It could be good, it could be bad. And a lot of times over the years, people have said, how can you do a ghost hunt with so many people? How can you do a seance when there's 30 people in the room? And the answer to that is, well, yes, you're not going to really get any signs, noise signs, like when we ask them, give us a sign that you're here, make a knock or something. Obviously, we can't do that when there's 30 people in the room because there is too much noise. But as for the actual spirit box and the seances, you could have 100 people in the room. It does not really seem to affect that. And everybody bringing in their energy and the things with them it does allow some things to come through. There were 2 instances where we experienced somebody had a friend or a relative come through. The first was a friend of one of the participants who, we don't know any of these people, and they were being very cryptic about it. They didn't really explain who the person was to them, but they were very much unnerved by this glass spelling out the gentleman's name and also a couple of other messages. And then last night we had another participant who had his finger on the glass along with 4 or 5 other people, and the glass spelled out the name Gabe. Now this was meaningless to all of us because, we get so many spirit names here all the time. I mean, just in the last 2 nights we had a Patrick, a Suzanne, a Tom, and there were a couple of other ones I can't remember. And then we have this Gabe. And as soon as it got to the E in Gabe, the guy pulled his hand right off the glass as if he was startled, and he said, "Oh no," and he got up and he walked away. And, I really didn't think anything of it. Sometimes people get creeped out by this, but it was after the tour had moved on to the next segment where we sent everybody upstairs for the second half that his, I believe it was his mother, had come up to me and said that was his grandfather. Gabe was the young man's grandfather, and he was definitely a little spooked by that. We can't prove that that was the actual Gabe there, but it was somebody named Gabe. Then that really bothered the young man who was on the glass. As for what's coming up the rest of this month, not much. There is one more event at the Strauss Mansion Museum. It is a part of our Music at the Mansion series, which is the last Thursday of every month. How do I say this? A ghost-themed rock opera, which is a 1-act play that will be performed. And following that, there will be a zombie dance party here at the Strauss Mansion Museum. And this is Halloween night, Thursday, October 31st, starting at 7 o'clock. It'll probably go to like 9 or 10. I believe the play is probably going to be about 45 minutes or so. And then the zombie dance party with a DJ and a whole big thing is going to be happening here. Come dressed in costume. It's $15 per person, which half the proceeds benefit us and half the proceeds go to the musician. And please bring a dish or drink to share. We like to do potluck style, so hopefully we'll get a lot of food and a lot of drinks. Come hang out and party at the Haunted Mansion on Halloween night. Usually we don't have anything on Halloween because sometimes it's in the middle of the week and people don't want to come out, but it's a Thursday, it's part of Music at the Mansion, so we think we're going to get some people to this. So make sure you come on out this Halloween. And I'm absolutely thrilled that they are having this event because it is an event that Ghosts on the Coast, my friends and I, we do not have to run or organize it. All we have to do is show up and have a good time, which is a real, it's a rarity in October that we can just show up to an event and not have to worry about organizing it. So Audra Mariel will be organizing this along with Mike Flannery, who is the musician who was once featured on MTV. So yeah, so it's going to be a pretty fun night. Anyway, one last message for you. If anybody came on these tours and captured anything audio or visual on their phones or cameras and you would like it analyzed, please send it to us, facebook.com/ghostsonthecoastnj. We would love to take a look at it, and if it's something, we could put it up on our YouTube channel and give you credit. So thank you all very much for listening to this video. Thank you to the over 200 people that came to the ghost tours, and then we had at least another, I don't know, 100 or maybe even more than that come to our other, probably close to another 150 or even 200 more come to our events. We packed like 400 people in this place in October. It was really, really crazy. Thank you to everybody who came out. All of that money goes to the Strauss Mansion Museum. It does not go to us ghost hunters, us people leading the tour. It goes to the museum to keep this place open. And if I can remember everybody's name, I'd like to thank my fellow committee members, Ghosts on the Coast crew members. Some of them are board members. Most of us are board members or volunteers here. We have Joanne DeLoso, Roy DeLoso, Lou Flegger, Patrick Osborne, Patty Bukowskis, Lisa Walling, our psychic, a couple of our friends that help out on investigations all the time that go way back with me, Jake Reed, Ben Escone, Katie DeLoso, who also volunteers and helped out during the tour, and Kim Redden. She was the nice lady who took your money at the door before you came in for our ghost tours. And also Ken France, our current acting president, for coming and giving us his support, and Lynn Patillo, another board member who helped work the door and keep people entertained online as they came in. That's all for now. Greg Caggiano here for Ghosts on the Coast, and another October almost in the books. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.